In the next few hours, your loyalty will be betrayed. Archangel Michael warns, silence is your shield. The winds of betrayal do not always howl. Sometimes, they arrive in silence, cloaked in the warmth of familiarity. In the next few hours, something sacred will be tested. It is not your intelligence, nor your courage, but your loyalty, and what it means to carry divine silence as a sword. Archangel Michael has released a warning for the appointed ones, those who have been under spiritual surveillance from the heavens, not to provoke fear, but to prepare you for the unveiling that is now racing toward you. The betrayal is not imagined. It is real, and it is coming from a place you once considered safe. You see, heaven has not been blind to the movements around your name, the conversations that left you uneasy, the invitations that felt too polished, the laughter that fell just short of genuine. These weren't coincidences, they were confirmations. There is someone who has been orbiting your life under the mask of admiration, loyalty, and kinship. But within them, a hidden agenda is stirring. And now, the time of exposure is near. Archangel Michael, the commander of heavenly hosts, sees what eyes of flesh cannot. And he declares this moment holy, because what was meant to harm you is about to unveil heaven's favor upon your life. This is not a warning of destruction. It is a revelation of purification. You are not being betrayed to be broken. You are being betrayed so that the truth will finally be free to rise. The next few hours are not ordinary. They are prophetically charged. In these hours, your emotions will try to rise. Your heart will ache for understanding. Your mind will want to explain, to clarify, to speak. But the divine command from the throne is this: silence is your shield. Not because you are weak, but because the noise is beneath your calling. Because heaven is already responding in the spiritual realm. Because what they say about you behind closed doors is already echoing into the ears of angels. This is your divine test, not of reaction, but of restraint. You are being called into spiritual positioning. A betrayal is not a breakdown. It is a breakthrough in disguise. And Michael wants you to understand this clearly. What you lose in loyalty from man, you gain in loyalty from heaven. What is slipping through your fingers is being replaced by something eternal. Your silence is not surrender. Your silence is a strategy. And in this divine hour, strategy will protect what shouting cannot. The more still you are, the louder heaven moves for you. They may plan to expose you, but they are about to reveal themselves. The trap they are setting will not ensnare you. It will identify them. Now prepare your heart. Prepare your emotions. Prepare your response, because your silence will speak with power. And when it does, heaven will thunder on your behalf. Type "My silence is my shield" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1717 is now active. In the realm of the unseen, there is motion, divine motion. Something is stirring in the spiritual atmosphere, something that carries weight and urgency. Not all betrayals announce themselves. Not all enemies wear dark robes and snarling faces. Sometimes they come cloaked in smiles. In the next few hours, your spirit will be tested not through thunder, but through whispers. And it is in those whispers, in those twisted retellings of your name, that a sacred message from heaven now emerges. Archangel Michael, the defender of the righteous, the commander of the celestial army, has stepped forward, his sword gleaming not with wrath, but with warning. His presence is not to incite fear, but to ignite clarity. His message is direct. His tone is serious. And his timing is precise. Within the next few hours, a betrayal is being set in motion. There is no room for doubt here. This is not imagination. This is not paranoia. What is coming has been long brewing, but now it is nearing your doorstep, and heaven refuses to let you be caught off guard. You are not being blindsided. You are being briefed by the courts of heaven itself. The betrayal will not come from the obvious place. It will not come from the stranger or the known opposition. No, it will come from the trusted circle, from someone whose voice you recognize, someone who has sat in the same room, shared the same table, or offered the same congratulations when you thought you were safe. Archangel Michael speaks now with divine urgency. Be still. Watch it. But do not speak, for the hour of exposure is near, and those who have plotted in darkness are about to be revealed, not through your retaliation, but through divine orchestration. Let this be your clarity. This moment you are entering is not random. It is prophetically timed. It hath been written into the scroll of your purpose. And while the betrayal will sting, it will not destroy. You are not being forsaken. You are being filtered. You are being preserved for something greater. And this betrayal is simply heaven's way of cleaning the path before your elevation. This is your spiritual activation. Do not wait for the knife to fall. Prepare your spirit now. Anchor yourself in silence. Make peace with the discomfort of not explaining yourself. Because it is not your explanation that will set you free. It is your obedience to divine stillness. In this silence, you will not be empty. You will be escorted, surrounded, protected. You will feel the weight of Michael's wings above your head, guarding your mind, calming your thoughts, whispering, I fight for you now. Time is of the essence. Within the next few hours, something will surface. Something small, perhaps. A comment, a gesture, a message out of place, a hesitation, a tone. It will look minor, but it will carry spiritual significance. Heaven will be giving you a signal, a confirmation that what was spoken today is unfolding right in front of you. Don't overlook it. Don't brush it off. Don't reason it away. Receive it as the divine breadcrumb it is, a sign that you are not walking alone, and that heaven is always one step ahead of sabotage. Now pause. Breathe. Feel the spiritual tension in the atmosphere. This isn't just another day. This is a holy moment, an appointed hour, a divine checkpoint. And while others around you may remain unaware, you have been chosen to receive this prophetic alert. You have been trusted with foresight. And now, you are being instructed with strategy. This is not the hour to react. This is the hour to retreat, into silence, into prayer, into alignment. Let them say what they will. Let them plan what they may. But let heaven be the only voice that commands your actions. Archangel Michael is present. He is warning. He is watching. And he is ready to defend, but only if you trust the silence. If this message finds you, it was meant for you. Declare this now in the comments. I will not speak. I will not fight. My silence is sacred. They are watching you, but not with the eyes of admiration. They smile, but it doesn't reach their spirit. They nod in your direction, but their hands are busy elsewhere, twisting your name, pulling threads behind the curtain. And here is where it begins, not with confrontation, not with drama, not with a scream, but with a whisper disguised as concern, a word out of place, delivered with calculated softness. Someone has already started crafting your betrayal, not with daggers, but with doubts. The betrayal is not loud. It will come like a breeze, not a storm. It will feel like unease in your stomach when you read a message. It will sound like a conversation that quiets when you enter the room. It will look like eye contact avoided too quickly or held too long. It will be so subtle you will almost dismiss it but don't. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual tremors, signs that your loyalty is being tested not only by humans, but by heaven itself. Archangel Michael speaks now. You are being watched, but not just by enemies. You are also being observed by angels. Your response in this hour will echo louder than your words. The betrayal will sting, but your silence will sing in heaven's ears. The emotional disruption has already started. You may not have realized it yet, but your spirit has. The confusion, the sudden anxiety, the questions that wake you up at night, though nothing concrete has happened yet. That's not just your imagination. That's spiritual warning. A divine signal that the atmosphere around you has shifted. Someone has started building a false narrative, piecing together fragments, assumptions, and resentment into a story they plan to share. And what's worse, it will come from someone you defended, someone you prayed for, someone you never imagined would question your integrity. They are speaking of your loyalty with mockery, as though it was never sacred. But heaven saw every sacrifice, every silent moment you chose not to defend yourself, every time you helped when you had nothing to gain, every moment you gave, and they took. The betrayal is not just emotional, it is energetic, and drains before it explodes. And that's the warning Archangel Michael is placing in your hands. You are not being asked to fight. You are being asked to discern. You are not being asked to confront. You are being asked to withdraw and let God handle what's hidden in the hearts of men. And right now, someone close is pretending to be aligned with you while secretly plotting against your peace. Here is the deception. They don't hate you openly. They may even compliment you publicly. But behind that flattery is frustration. Why? Because your light unsettles their shadow. Your elevation reminds them of where they remain stuck. Your growth reveals their stagnation. You didn't do anything wrong. You simply stopped shrinking to keep them comfortable. And now, their spirit has turned. You need to understand, the betrayal was never personal. It's spiritual. They are not attacking you because of what you said or did. They are reacting to what you carry. You carry peace, and they crave chaos. You carry favor, and they feel forgotten. You carry grace, and they live in guilt. So instead of honoring your loyalty, they've decided to test it, twist it, weaponize it. Archangel Michael sees the full picture. The entire spiritual landscape is in view to him. And while you may only see fragments, discomfort, mixed messages, distant friends, he sees the plot in its entirety. He sees how they will deny it when confronted, how they will play the victim, how they will act confused. And this is why he tells you, do not expose what heaven will reveal. Your silence is not surrender. It is divine surveillance. Even now, the betrayal is taking shape. They're not just speaking, they're watching to see how you will respond. Do not give them the show. Do not give them the words they want to twist. Do not give them anything. Give them silence. Give them mystery. Give them nothing they can use. And let them wonder, why didn't you respond? Let them fear, what do you know? Let them sit in the tension they created, alone. This is how heaven wins battles, not always with fire, but often with stillness. Type in the comments if you feel this tension. They don't know I'm protected. Blessing code 3838 is now activated for your protection. This is not just gossip. This is not merely offense, jealousy, or drama. This is not about being left out of a conversation or having your name misrepresented. It may look like petty human behavior on the surface, but beneath that surface, a spiritual war is raging, and you, chosen one, are standing at the very center of it. This betrayal is not about social ties. This is about spiritual alignment. You are being separated from what cannot walk with you into your next elevation. And Archangel Michael is not just warning you, he is preparing you for war. But this war won't require swords. It won't require shouting, arguments, or vengeance. This war will require spiritual discernment, emotional maturity, and sacred silence. Because the real battle is not what is being said about you. The real battle is whether you will let it pull you out of position. And heaven is watching to see if you'll rise above or drop down into it. This betrayal, painful as it may be, is actually a divine filter, a heavenly separation. It is heaven's way of removing what can no longer serve your calling. That's why it hurts so deeply. It's not just the betrayal of trust. It's the uprooting of soul ties that were never meant to last this long. And in the tearing away, your spirit feels the tremble. But that tremble is not your breaking. It's your becoming. You have been marked, anointed, for something greater. And what's happening right now is not punishment. It's preparation. The betrayal was allowed, not to destroy you, but to expose what was hiding in plain sight. God is not just revealing your intentions. He's revealing your next direction. Your silence is the spiritual proof that you no longer operate on a human level. You are no longer reactive. You are rising. Think about it. How many times did you make peace when they sowed confusion? How many times did you pray for people who plotted against you? How many times did you shrink so they wouldn't feel small? All of that was preparation for this moment, this divine shift, this final sifting of hearts, this sacred betrayal that heaven is now using as your bridge to destiny. Archangel Michael wants you to stop seeing this betrayal as a loss. It is a reveal, a revelation of hearts, a confirmation of your calling. The very fact that you are being betrayed means you've outgrown that circle. Your loyalty didn't fail, it succeeded. You passed the test of integrity, and now heaven is removing what no longer matches your assignment. You are under divine protection, and those who are plotting may not realize it yet, but every whisper against you is echoing into heaven's courtroom. Every false word is being recorded. Every setup is being overturned, not by your hand, but by the hand of the Most High. That is why silence is your shield, because your words can do what divine justice is about to do. You are not being isolated. You are being insulated. You are not being abandoned. You are being advanced. And while the betrayal hurts, it also heals, because it severs you from relationships rooted in pretense, not purpose. You may feel like you're being stripped, but in truth, you're being sanctified. This is not chaos. This is calibration. Heaven is aligning every part of your life to match the calling on your name. So let the betrayal come. Let it service. Let it reveal. Because the more they expose themselves, the more heaven will elevate you. You are chosen. You are sealed. You are anointed for the next level. And Archangel Michael has already stationed angels around your spirit to ensure that no weapon, no word, no whisper will prosper. Let them fall away. Let them say what they must. Let them lie if they need to. Your job is not to correct them. It is to outrow them. And you will. In silence. With grace. Covered by heaven. Type this in the comments. I am chosen. I am covered. I will not descend. Lesson Code 5544 is now in motion. There is a clock ticking in the spiritual realm, and you are now standing in the final moments before a confrontation that is not meant to break you, but to test your posture. Archangel Michael's voice echoes through the atmosphere like a trumpet before battle, and his warning is crystal clear. Be still, but be watchful. They are preparing to act. This betrayal you feel inching closer is not theoretical. It is imminent. There is an individual, maybe even more than one, who is coordinating something behind your back. Their plan is subtle, crafted to discredit you without ever appearing in the open. They don't want you to see it coming. They want the betrayal to confuse you, to shock you, to pull you off your spiritual center. They want your reaction to become your ruin. But Archangel Michael reveals their timing before it's too late. Because when heaven warns, it is always a chance to prepare, not panic. The setup may look small. A question asked in front of others to corner you. A vague accusation spoken just loud enough to circulate. An old secret twisted to fit their version of the truth. And they'll deliver it through someone you trust, so that the betrayal stings deeper and the wound cuts cleaner. This is how the enemy moves in this hour, not with visible swords, but with invisible snares. It's psychological. It's calculated. It's meant to make you look guilty while they appear innocent. But you, chosen one, are not walking in blindness. You are walking in revelation. The next 3 hours will determine everything, says Michael. Guard your words. Guard your posture. Heaven is watching, and your silence will be your loudest defense. There is about to be a test, a divine one. A moment where the opportunity to defend yourself will burn in your chest. Your flesh will beg to rise. Your tongue will itch to explain. But you must remember, heaven is fighting for you. And sometimes the most dangerous move you can make is speaking too soon. This confrontation is not random. The enemy has chosen this window of time because they think you are vulnerable, distracted, or unguarded. But what they don't realize is that heaven has already sounded the alarm. You are not being caught off guard. You are being prepositioned. And their attack is not coming to destroy you. It's coming to confirm you. It is divine evidence that your season is shifting, that your authority is rising, that your circle must be refined. And here is the strategy the enemy hopes you'll miss. They want to provoke you into discrediting yourself, to bait you into a reaction that can be twisted, to catch you in a moment of frustration. But you must not take the bait. You must not give them the reaction they are salivating for. Because if you react, you give them power. But if you remain still, you stay in divine authority. The betrayal is on a schedule. Within hours, maybe even minutes, you will be placed in a situation that feels too familiar. A tension, a trigger, a tone in someone's voice that sets your heart racing. You'll feel it in your chest, that spiritual tightening, that divine intuition. It's not paranoia, it's prophecy. That's the moment Michael was warning you about. That's when you hold your peace. That's when your silence becomes sacred. Listen closely. They will approach you, maybe not with direct attack, but with questions laced in manipulation, with statements that challenge your integrity, with passive-aggressive remarks meant to corner you. And your greatest weapon will not be a rebuttal. It will be a pause, a breath, a refusal to engage on their level. Because while they're trying to pull you down, heaven is lifting you up. If you can pass this test, if you can stand still while chaos circles your name, then the betrayal will not define you. It will elevate you. And not just spiritually, physically, financially, relationally. There are blessings waiting on the other side of this betrayal, but they can only be accessed through restraint, through trust, through obedience to this instruction. Let God speak for you. To watch closely, discern every word, examine every tone. There will be a moment where you will want to defend yourself, to expose what you know. But you must remember, exposure is heaven's job, not yours. You are not here to fight with flesh. You are here to rise with grace. Type in the comments, I will not react. I will not fold. I will be still. Blessing code 6060 is now active for divine restraint and breakthrough. This is where you must make a sacred decision, not just with your actions, but with your atmosphere. The betrayal may be active, but so is heaven. And in this holy hour, Archangel Michael does not merely warn, he instructs. You are not being left to navigate this on your own. Divine strategy is being whispered into your spirit. But you must be willing to listen not just with your ears but with your soul. Michael declares, your stillness is not passive, it is power. Your silence is not surrender, it is spiritual warfare. And in this next test, what you do not say will protect you more than anything you could speak. This is the moment to anchor yourself. Not in arguments, not in assumptions, not in the urge to explain yourself. Anchor yourself in sacred silence, in still waters. Because even now, the enemy is listening, not just for your reaction, but for your instruction. If you speak out of pain, they'll twist your words. If you move without discernment, they'll say you're unstable. But if you remain quiet, collected, discerning, you will confuse every plan crafted against you. The betrayal is real, but it is not the point. The test is not about them. It's about you. How you protect your peace. How you preserve your destiny. How you handle being wounded without becoming bitter. And here, silence is your spiritual cloak. It is the armor that makes you invisible to chaos. You don't need to respond. You need to resist. Resist the urge to text back. Resist the pull to vent to the wrong person. Resist the temptation to fight fire with fire. Because the enemy is hoping you will get tired. Tired enough to abandon your position. Tired enough to throw away your progress just to prove a point. But your silence will speak volumes. It will scream in the spiritual realm. I trust God more than I trust my flesh. And when you do that, when you resist the temptation to defend yourself, heaven rises in defense of your name. Michael has stationed angels around your thoughts, around your conversations, around your reputation. Let them work. Do not interfere with divine justice. Whether it's like an action is actually intercession. Heaven is moving quietly, powerfully, invisibly. Do not interrupt what you cannot yet see. And now, protect your atmosphere. Clean it. Purify it. This is your time to withdraw and reset. Turn off the noise. Step back from the people whose energy shifts when your blessings increase. Step away from conversations that don't feel clean. Don't explain. Don't justify. Let them wonder why you've gone quiet. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Because in the absence of your voice, your growth will speak for you. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. While you are being still, heaven is building. While you are silent, angels are speaking your name in rooms you haven't entered yet. While you retreat, divine power is advancing in your direction. What they planned as a trap is turning into your triumph. But only if you follow the command. Be still and know that I am God. Protect your mind. Feed it truth, not lies, not rumors. Truth. Open scripture. Speak life. Speak favor. Say nothing about the betrayal, but speak everything about your protection. Surround yourself with peace, with light, with order. You are not preparing to fight. You are preparing to receive. This is a shift. This is holy ground. Walk it gently. Guard it fiercely. And if they ask why you haven't said anything, just smile. Because silence is not the absence of noise, it is the presence of wisdom. It is the echo of trust. And Archangel Michael has declared it your weapon. Let them talk. Let them plan. Let them fall into the holes they dug for you. You're rising. Quietly. Protected. Elevated. Type in the comments, heaven fights for me. Silence is my sword. Blessing code 7272 is now activated for peace, clarity, and divine backup. You've been quiet. You've been graceful. You've been still. And in that stillness, something divine has awakened. This is not just the calm after betrayal. This is the beginning of your rise. A rise not fueled by revenge, not driven by rage, but born from revelation. Because in holding your peace, you gain something far more powerful than approval. You gain clarity. And with clarity comes authority. With clarity comes a shift. What they didn't know, what they couldn't see, was that your silence wasn't empty. It was sacred. While they were speaking against you, your soul was upgrading. While they were crafting narratives, heaven was crafting a new identity. You are no longer who they thought you were. That version of you, the one who tolerated too much, who explained too often, who dimmed to keep their comfort intact, that version no longer exists. And here you are now, rising. But not with noise, not with explanation, not with vengeance. You're rising in stillness. And your stillness is speaking louder than their voices ever could. You've become untouchable not because of what you've said, but because of what you've survived. This betrayal did not wound you. It awakened you. It peeled back the illusion and revealed the truth. You don't need their validation. You don't need their loyalty. You never needed to beg to be seen. Now you see yourself. Now you know who you are. Now you walk with the understanding that your silence was not weakness. It was wisdom. And that wisdom has separated you. Not just from people, but from patterns. Not just from betrayal, but from limitation. You stepped into the reality that not everyone was meant to go where God is taking you. And that's not rejection, that's redirection. They underestimated you. They thought their betrayal would break you. But all it did was prove that you are not built like them. You don't move in bitterness. You don't strike in retaliation. You ascend. You evolve. You disappear from the chaos and let your progress do the speaking. And now they're watching from a distance, confused. Because how did you survive that storm and come out glowing? The answer is simple. You were never walking alone. Archangel Michael shielded your spirit when they tried to shatter your confidence. Heaven stood guard while lies were being spoken. And while they were preparing to bring you down, God was preparing to lift you higher. They thought you were finished. But they forgot something vital. You are sealed by the Most High. And now you move differently. You no longer flinch at passive aggression. You no longer rush to defend your character. You no longer need to be in every room. Because your presence carries weight. Because your absence speaks volumes. Because your glow is no longer dimmed by approval or proximity. You're not angry. You're awakened. You're not bitter. You're blessed. You're not lost. You've been located by divine purpose. You are not who they remember, and they'll never access you the same way again. Because once you've been sealed by heaven, no lie can label you. No attack can define you, and no betrayal can undo what God has ordained. So walk forward with quiet strength. Let them sit in the confusion of your silence. Let them wonder why their schemes didn't destroy you. Let them feel the distance you no longer explain. Because this is your rise. This is your shift. This is your divine revenge, peace, power, and purpose wrapped in silence. Say it in your heart if you feel it. I have shifted. I have risen. I am sealed. And type it as a declaration. I have shifted. I have risen. I am sealed. Blessing code 8181 is now fully activated. Your elevation has begun. The silence you chose was not just for survival. It was for transformation. And now, in this sacred moment, heaven speaks again. Not with warning, not with warfare, but with revelation. This is not the end of your trial. This is the beginning of your reward. Because what you endured was not punishment. It was positioning. You were never being broken down. You were being built up, layer by layer, test by test, betrayal by betrayal. And now, your spirit stands taller, not because you fought back, but because you didn't have to. Archangel Michael steps aside, and the atmosphere begins to shift. The cloud of conflict lifts. The murmur of betrayal fades. What enters now is divine light, unmistakable, unshakable, and it surrounds you. Not because you demanded it, not because you begged for it, but because you qualified for it. You passed the test. You held your peace. You stood in silence when chaos demanded a reaction. And now, the reward comes. This was never about the betrayal. This was about elevation, about the unlocking of a level that only few reach, not because they aren't called, but because they can't remain still long enough to be crowned. But you obeyed. You stayed silent when it would have been easier to scream. You stayed composed when it would have felt justified to confront. You walked away from the fire, and now you walk into favor. Your enemies are confused. The storm they sent didn't drown you. It delivered you. The tension they created didn't trap you. It trained you. The loss they tried to inflict didn't cripple you. It crowned you. Because everything meant to damage you only deepened your discernment. Every lie became a ladder. Every false word became a footstool. And every betrayal became a bridge straight into divine transformation. And this is the moment where heaven lifts the veil. You begin to see what all of this was really about. Not just the people, not just the pain, but the purpose, the inheritance, the next assignment. Because now that you've passed the test, the gates begin to open. Things that were once locked now begin to flow. Insight, opportunity, financial provision, strategic alignment, unexpected favor. It begins to rush in because the resistance has been removed. You are no longer just walking in potential. You are walking in prophecy. That stillness you carried wasn't just protection. It was preparation. And now, heaven opens the door that couldn't be opened until you passed through silence. Because silence was your signature. It was a mark that proved, this one is ready for more. So don't be surprised when the very people who betrayed you come back with apologies masked as conversations. Don't be surprised when they try to return, not because they changed, but because they recognized what they lost. And you will respond with peace, not permission, with grace, not access, because this version of you no longer entertains what heaven has exposed. You are now in a realm where peace is your priority, where access is sacred, where conversations are covered in purpose, and where loyalty is no longer blind. It is discerned. You don't move with emotion anymore. You move with alignment. And anything that costs your peace now costs too much. You've been through too much to shrink back. You've carried too much to lower yourself. You've endured too much to waste your words. Your silence built a sanctuary, and now you walk in it with authority. This is your reward. This is your release. This is your rise. Say this now, not just with your mouth, but with your entire being. This is the final test before my elevation. Say it until your spirit believes it. Divine favor is forming in my atmosphere. And if you know this shift is yours, type it with conviction. This betrayal was my breakthrough. Blessing code 9090 is now unlocked. The season of silence has done its work. Now enters the season of reward. You've made it this far for a reason. Not by luck. Not by coincidence. Not by the strength of your own hand, but by divine design. The betrayal was real. The silence was sacred. And the transformation inevitable. But now, something more is being asked of you. This is not where your journey pauses. This is where it pivots. Heaven is not only applauding your restraint, heaven is now calling for your response. And not just any response, a spiritual agreement. Archangel Michael, having delivered his warning, now turns with authority in his voice and fire in his gaze. He is no longer issuing alerts. He is extending a divine invitation. You survived. You've remained silent. Now will you align? Will you respond not with words of defense but with declarations of destiny? Will you activate what's been waiting in the wings? Because make no mistake, nothing moves in the realm of the spirit until something moves in you. Your next breakthrough, your next level, your divine shift. It's not about who betrayed you. It's about whether you're ready to declare, I am still standing. I am still chosen. I am still rising. This is not about shouting back. This is about stepping into alignment, into agreement, into everything heaven had been preparing behind the veil of silence. And heaven doesn't need you to be loud. It needs you to be anchored. Right now, in this moment, as you feel this word settle into your spirit, you are standing at a divine intersection. You can look back and relive the betrayal, or you can look forward and release the blessing. But you cannot do both. This is your call to action. Not to fight, not to fix, but to affirm. Affirm what you already know to be true in your spirit. Affirm that your silence was not wasted. Affirm that the betrayal was a test you passed. Affirm that what's ahead is greater than what was lost. Because when you affirm, you align. And when you align, you activate. This is what the enemy never expected. They thought the silence would leave you confused. They thought the betrayal would cause you to retreat. They thought your loyalty would turn to bitterness. But instead, here you are still loyal, not to them but to your purpose. Still quiet, not because you're afraid, but because you are certain. So now speak. Not to them. Not for them. But for you. For the heavens. For the new realm that's opening. Speak what your spirit has been carrying all along but hath been waiting for divine timing to release. Say it without hesitation, without apology, without fear of who's listening. I align with divine timing. I step into sacred destiny. I release what no longer serves. I receive what heaven has reserved. Let your voice be the key that opens the next door. Let your spirit speak louder than your circumstance. Let your agreement with heaven cancel every assignment of the enemy. Let your yes to God echo louder than any lie ever told about you. Because this is not about them anymore. This is about you. About your future. About your next. About your divine fulfillment. Right now, all of heaven is watching. The angels that surrounded you in silence now gather to celebrate your sound. Your agreement is what ignites the movement. Your declaration is what signals readiness. And when you open your mouth in truth, you open the gates of breakthrough. So don't whisper it. Don't delay it. Don't dilute it. Say it with everything inside you. I choose stillness. I walk in favor. I declare freedom. I align with divine order. Say it until the atmosphere shifts. Say it until the pain loses power. Say it until the betrayal fades and the blessing rises. And then type it, write it, imprint it into your reality. I align with heaven. I rise without revenge. I walk in silence and victory. This is your moment. This is your move. This is your mandate. Blessing code 6161 is now activated, declaring to all realms that your yes has been heard, and your shift is now in motion. And now we have reached the final breath of this divine message, but the echo of this word will not leave you. It will linger. It will follow you into rooms where you were once doubted. It will guard you in spaces where you were once overlooked. It will speak louder than any accusation ever spoken against you. Because this is not just a message, this is a mantle of silence, of strategy, of spiritual covering. You didn't just hear this word, your spirit received it. And now heaven needs you to carry it. What began as a warning has become a weapon, and what started as a betrayal has become a birthing. You are no longer the same. You will never look at silence the same way again. Because now you know. Silence is not absence. Silence is presence. It is power. It is precision. It is divine positioning for the ones who are trusted with much. And heaven has found you faithful. Archangel Michael has not stepped away. He stands, wings still outstretched over your name, over your household, over your destiny. He is not here to rescue you anymore. He is here to recognize you as one who obeyed, as one who held still when the earth shook, as one who trusted the hand of God over the pull of the flesh. And now, because you listened, because you aligned, because you passed the test, you are about to witness the reward. This betrayal didn't delay your blessing. It accelerated it. It didn't break your destiny. It revealed it. You didn't lose anything heaven intended you to keep. And everything that left during this storm, it was only ever on loan. But what remains now is yours, and it is rooted, anchored, ordained. Say this now, with no hesitation, no fear, no shrinking back. I am not broken. I am not bitter. I am built by heaven. Say it again until the truth sits deeper in your bones. Say it until your heart stops replaying old offenses. Say it until your mind releases every conversation, every accusation, every betrayal. Because that was yesterday. That was the last season. That was the battlefield. But this is the birthing room. You are not walking away from this moment the same. You are walking away crowned with wisdom, dressed in discernment, armored in peace. You are no longer proving yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are no longer offering loyalty to those who only wanted access, not covenant. You are no longer explaining your purity to those who live in pretense. You are done defending. You are done explaining. You are done shrinking. This betrayal released you. His silence anointed you. And now, your elevation will speak for itself. And for every lie spoken, for every betrayal staged, for every plan plotted in the dark, heaven saw it all. Heaven recorded it. And heaven is now responding. Not with wrath, not with chaos, but with compensation. The kind that doesn't just restore, but multiplies. The kind that doesn't just vindicate, but establishes. You are being established now. In spirit. In authority. In identity. In divine favor. So take this final moment not as a conclusion, but as a commission. You are being released into a new realm. You are not just surviving the betrayal. You are being elevated because of it. Let that settle. Let it shift your posture. Let it remind you that silence was not the end. It was the strategy that secured your next chapter. Declare this one last time, from the depths of your being, silence is my shield. Stillness is my strategy. Favor is my future. And let the angels who have warred on your behalf carry the declaration back to the throne as proof that you understand, you agree, and you are ready. You are no longer reacting. You are ruling. You are no longer explaining. You are expanding. You are no longer doubting. You are divinely aligned. Say it now and type it boldly. I am sealed. I am chosen. I am rising. Blessing code 0000 is now fully activated, signifying a divine reset and supernatural elevation. Everything starts now. Heaven is watching. The next chapter has begun.